All right, welcome back to another episode of 666 Seconds of Metal. And this time it's episode number 7. Shane, we're just chunking through these things, man. They've been going good. That's right. Passing on the word of some good metal. We've already gotten some good feedback. A couple of the Murder Metal Mayhem listeners said they really are enjoying these spots. So appreciate the kind feedback. Always good to hear. Always good to hear. Now, we've been mixing these up. Some of these bands are bands you're suggesting. Some are bands I'm suggesting. This is one that I really wanted to talk about. I changed shirts because I wanted to show my support for the band I'm getting ready to talk about. Going to the UK for this one, and the band is called The Bleeding. Definitely a really killer death thrash band. I know both of us really love the combination of those two things.
Yeah.
And this band personifies it, man. They completely nail it. Definitely really, really dig this band. I've gone back and listened to their older stuff and really have fully embraced it and really, really dig it. So I'm going to share a couple of things with you guys here as we start talking about them. So let you see this here. So yeah, the album art there, you can see it off to the right is just really, really cool. Really dig these guys. So they started out in London in 2010, and they put out their first full-length release called Rites of Absolution in 2017. So, it took them, a few years to come out with a full length. They did have an EP first and then that full length. And then their second full length, Morbid Prophecy, which is just absolutely amazing. That came out 2 years later in 2019. And then the newest album, Monokrator, came out in June of this year, 2023. So, they have, like all bands, have had some lineup changes, but, they are definitely, killing it with this lineup. The only original member, the founding member of the band, Tasos, is the guitarist, and he's kind of the songwriter, main songwriter, and really the driving force behind The Bleeding. I gave him a lot of crap when I talked to him, and I asked him if he named the band after the Five Finger Death Punch song, and he got a little twisted around for a second. I was busting his balls, but no, obviously not that. We know the Cannibal Corpse album, The Bleeding, is probably more of an inspiration to them, and he said something, but in an English accent, it sounded much more classy than the way I would have said it, but said something about it was unfortunate that people would find that band when they search for his band. So I was laughing, but super cool dude. Now the album is it's amazing. It's definitely in my top 10. I haven't completely sorted out where in the top 10 it is yet, but it is going to be in my top 10. It opens up strong, like all good albums should, with a real killer track. Chemical Lobotomy just keeps crushing and keeps the intensity just fever pitched through the entire 8-song album. Every song is just absolutely amazing. Love the video they did for the song Chainsaw Death Cult, which that's a cool name. That would be a great band name.
That's one of my favorites on the album.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorites.
It's a great song.
That's a great
kind
song.
of got me interested. Yeah. And today, though, I mean, my favorite song on this album differs. Every time I listen to it, it's different. But the latest one is the title track. I love that song, Monokrator, just absolutely brutal. Ties in with the cover art. The cover art's really amazing. But, death thrash is my thing, and these guys hit it right on the right
that title track. It's got great groove, got some really good chugging to it, and harmonics. You don't hear that too often nowadays, eh?
That's true. That's true. Yeah, they did definitely bring it with that song, and the musicianship is amazing on this album. I mean, the songwriting is really good, and you could see the maturation as the band has gone through now 13 years. You know, they've really matured. The drummer, James Lowe, is amazing, teaming up with bassist Jordan Muscatello, just holding that bottom end down and just keeping it thundering. Love the vocals from Jamie Stungo, more of a thrash feel than a death feel, but I like the way he does it. Really strong.
We got to talk about the vocals here, Pete. Like this, the vocals in this are just fucking evil sounding. And even when the chorus comes in, it just fucking sounds like a chorus of demons. And he's got a very sharp voice, and it's very angry sounding. Like, it's not just screaming, but it's very passionate.
Right.
Like he fucking means it.
Yeah, and what's amazing is they all recorded this thing separately. Like, they weren't even in a studio because of the pandemic. So the fact that they were able to get those kind of, raw recordings that way is really impressive. And then, like I said, the main man, Tasos, the guitarist, absolute shredder, killer riffs. I mean, tremendous songwriting. Just a super cool guy. I had the privilege to interview him for the Murder Metal Mayhem podcast just after the album was released, and it was a lot of fun. It was a really good conversation. So I'm going to play a part of that interview so you guys can check this out and see what you think about it, because I really, really like this band and really thought that, there's a lot here, and I think that
it's worthy, that's for sure.
I think our viewers would definitely like to see this interview, and if you want to watch the entire interview that I did with him, I'll link to that in the episode description so you guys can watch the entire thing. So we'll check back in with you after this clip is over. I posted a review of the Monokrator album, which I absolutely love. It's easily in my top 5 metal albums of the year. And I was wondering, because I didn't really spend a lot of time looking this up because I wanted to ask you, is Monokrator an actual word, or did you guys make that up? And does it kind of tie into a concept for the album?
Yeah, it's actually a real word. It's a Greek word that means soul emperor, or emperor of emperors, or you can replace emperor with ruler. So it's someone who is above everyone else, essentially.
Wow. I had a feeling it was a real word, but I wanted to ask you, and I'm looking at the album cover. I took a guess when I did the review of what that meant, so I hope I wasn't too far off, thinking it was somebody in a throne, ruling over a legion of dead people or the dead. So definitely love that album cover. And how did you guys end up recording that? Because nowadays things are so much different than they used to be. Back when I started playing in the 80s, obviously going digital or analog, and then saw the digital stuff coming in, and now everybody's recording from home. How did you guys do it?
Well, where do I start? So the previous album, Morbid Prophecy, we did quite a long session that ran across a few days at the studio. And the problem with that is sometimes when you're running within a specific time frame, certain things you might not be happy about afterwards, especially when it comes to the vocals. So this time around, we tracked the vocals over at Jamie's place. So
well, there you have it, a little taste of that interview, Shane. Definitely could tell Tasos is just a really super cool guy. Great face of the band, just really wears it well. He really loves what he's doing, and it's obvious in the music. This album is amazing. I'm glad that you like it as well.
You know, it's awesome. You know, it is really worthy of anybody's top 10 list. And it came out, you know, kind of early in the year. I think maybe it kind of went under a couple people's radar, but, you know, just you like good chugs and thrashy riffs cranked all the way to fucking death metal. You got to check this out.
Fuck yeah. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next time, and appreciate you checking us out on 666 Seconds of Metal.
Horns fucking high.